Yeah.
Yeah,
So do you think that we've come to the end of the road with Runnison then, Michael? I mean,
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
he had one game. It was very unfortunate. It had to be against Man City.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It's the end of the road.
even if he has the inherent talent, that could be brought on, that would have crushed him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and you can tell he's way off. He's way off. Like he's a good like 2-3 years on loan type thing. That's how far off he looks. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, give him a year out on loan. He looks like he needs a good 2 or 3. He like
They
he's
want So Freddie Woodman,
this Freddie
out
Wood
on
Wood
loan,
we're
out on loan
pushing.
to Swansea City at the moment, is looking a seasoned professional compared with Runnison.
Let's see what people in the comments say about that. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not making fun of Freddie Woodman, by the way. He's
I
obviously a
know you're
talented
not. You're
player.
serious.
No, well, I just thought I'd mention a name that no one else is talking about, and
I like
few
that.
people, hardly any of the gossip columns or the rumor pages are talking about the goalie problem.
They're not, are they? And it is a problem. It's a big
It's a
problem.
serious problem. I mean, if because Leno has been performing pretty well, hasn't he?
Definitely, he's
He's
been
had some
brilliant.
good games.
He's been brilliant, man. Like some of the saves he's made, he's
Well,
kept
absolutely.
clean
I
game.
mean, he's been actually in the game before last. I think he was our best player. Was that the
Oh,
Crystal
Palace,
Palace game?
yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
He's brilliant against Palace. He
So you
kept us
see,
in that game.
yeah, and to lose our number one goalie at this time of the season, just as we're beginning to settle the team down,
Well, as we know
it's
with football,
disastrous. But as you said, the ice is very thin now under Arsenal. We create a gap. We sold Martinez. We've got a problem.
that's the
You
thing.
know, we let Kolasinac go. We got a problem on the left with backup.
So
Yeah,
you just don't know. You just and then that ties in perfectly with the next out is Matt Macy, who's gone to Hibernian on free. 7 years at Arsenal, Matt Macy,
yeah.
as a number 3. So that's interesting because, to be honest, I've not watched a lot of Matt Macy. I've seen the odd game, so I can't really judge it. But just off of what I've seen of Runnison, I would have sooner let Matt Macy stay and send Runnison. I know they're looking to send Runnison out on loan, but surely some of the errors Matt Runnison was making, Matt Macy won't make them because of his experience.
You
It's
would
like
think
so
so.
it's all
Yeah,
a bit interesting about how would the transfer dealings, and as you said, you don't feel quite confident or have belief in the way that's been dealt with. And I'm the same. I'm not confident about the way we move in the transfer markets and the business we make and the decision making. I think you can tell that we're novice there. You can tell that we lack experience because the mistakes that are being made and the decisions that are being made worry me. I'm not there thinking, oh, I see why we done that. I'm thinking, why did we do that? Because then you leave another hole. We just keep on seem to be making decisions that then adds to another problem to fix, rather
yeah.
than, oh, that's the solution, now we're set and we can just get on with it. Because there always seems to be something that isn't quite right. I don't know. That's how I always feel with our dealings.
So you can see that one of my concerns was not so much midfield or defence or even striking, forwards. It was this unmentioned goalie problem,
Yeah, that's
because it,
I
it,
get it.
it makes me really nervous because we had a nasty injury with Leno last season. Luckily we have Martinez, but I mean, we haven't got, well, at the moment we stand little chance of getting a goalkeeper the quality of Martinez to be number 2.
No way. Not in January.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not in January. But
So,
there's been talks of Tom Heaton and Raya of Brentford, but the money they're asking for Raya anyway, 20 million. And Heaton, they've not see. There was whispers. There isn't big talk about Heaton because he's now come out and says he wants to fight for his place at Villa because he obviously he had that it was a cruciate ligament injury he had last season, and I think he's come out recently and says he wants to fight for his place because he was on the bench for the last. I know they've been off with COVID. Most the games have been postponed recently, but the game before that, there was a game before they went off for COVID, and he was on the bench. So he's come back into the fold, and it was whispers about Tom Heaton and us trying to tempt him. But again, that's not going to be that cheap. So the options that, as you said, mentioned before, and I've mentioned, it is tricky business this January window for us.
yeah.
It's a juggling.
And is it made more problematic, Michael, more worrying by the fact that we could get some big European club making us a tempting offer for one of the players we don't want to let go?
Yeah, definitely.
Someone like Bellerin, for instance.
Yes. There's been talk about that, hasn't there? So PSG, Mr.
Absolutely.
Pochettino.
There you go.
So
So
there's whispers.
it's almost like a game of poker, this transfer window,
Yeah.
don't you think so? Who's going to blink first? Who's going to sort of give the game away? But it could get really, really, really fraught, couldn't it? If we've got, say, a couple of days to go before the end of the transfer window and we get a big offer for one of our players with no backup.
And who's to say we won't accept it?
This is why I asked that, Michael, because I don't have the confidence
Nor do I.
in the people making the decisions. In fact, I'm not really sure who makes the decisions. We know we've got a technical director and the director of football, and we got the manager. But the board, of course, they're very much in the Kroenke mold now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, we just have to hope that we get through this transfer window. For me, it's not so much we get through the transfer window and make a really good signing. It's getting through the transfer window without losing too many people.
Yeah.
And not having the backup.
And I think with all the whisperings that's been going on, the Julian Brandts, the Buendias, the Sabitzers, for me, they all seem unlikely. And there's a whisper about Shakhtar Donetsk winger Manor Solomon, who's 21.
Oh yeah, he's only 21, isn't he? He's quite a.
There's whisperings about that, but for me, and I'm with you, I think the goalkeeper. If we're gonna do any business, because the others seem so unlikely that we're gonna spend that money before we offload anymore. You see what I mean? If I thought there was hope of it, I would be like, yeah, let's go for it and get someone creative in.
Yeah.
But I think because of what we need to do, and as you said about the homegrown talent as well, and the fact that we might lose players, we don't know. And that's the problem in this situation. So I think the goalie, I think we need to be smart and cover that and get this backup goalkeeper somehow. I don't know who. And, as I said, I mentioned a few names, again, seem unlikely to get that, as I said, the caliber of a Martinez. I don't think it will be. We're looking at potential who we can get in, but can actually, deliver and is a lot more ready than Renarsson. So it's a tough one. I think the goalkeeper coming out of this, I would say that would be a definite must, because you can't rely on one goalkeeper all season.
Above all things, we've got to resist the temptation to bring in one of these touted names like Aouar or Solomon and paying over the odds the way we did with Pepe.
Yeah.
Because surely we've learned from that, haven't we?
I don't know.
Well, I meant it ironically, because I'm not sure we have.
Nah, I'm with you. We definitely not. We haven't. I think there'll be more. As I said, it's a very inexperienced team we have. The Edu, Vinay, this Garlic guy's got experience. Obviously, he was at West Brom and the FA as well, yeah. So he's got experience. So maybe that will help. And I heard Edu was struggling to why we brought in Garlic, because the workload, it was getting too much for him. So hopefully this helps. But I'm with you. I'm not convinced. I'm not there thinking, oh yeah, we'll sort this out and it will go the way we want. I always think that in the background that they were not quite as organized, as structured as a team, even like Leicester. Look at the signings they make.
Another factor, I think, Michael, at the moment is the COVID problem, because it restricts movement. So even if we had a scouting team, as I call them, in place, they wouldn't be able to go and look at players. So it's one of the worst times, I think, to go out and taking a risk on a big fee for a player you haven't really been able to check out yourself. There's one thing looking at the stats, and I know these days they have all this software and so forth to look at players' stats.
Right.
But you still got to have someone whose eye is attuned to working out how that player could fit in.
Yeah. 100%.
And the stats don't tell you that, do they?
No, 100%. The eye test.
The eye test. That's right. So at
Offside.
the moment, it's such a tricky time for any club, and not just Arsenal, to go out into the market and even to think of selling players. Because it's one of those times where you could find you make a really big mistake again.
100%.
Not that I'm saying that Pepe was a huge mistake, but we clearly paid over the odds for him.
Yeah, 100%. That was bad business.
Oh, very bad business. And even though I really I like his personality, and I admire his technical ability.
Brilliant.
But the application is not there, is it?
No, for me, in a way, I think he's almost given up and he's resigned that this isn't going to work out. I think he's resigned to that fact. His body language, the way he goes up. I don't think he believes that this can work. When you look at certain players and the way they play, and just the way he goes about it. When he comes on, he doesn't look like he's coming on to say, "Oh right, I'm going to show you that I should be starting." He comes on like this ain't going to work for me. I'm not happy here. I'm going to try the odd flick. I'm going to try and beat a few players and try a shot from 40 yards. I don't know. I think the mentality isn't right. And I think that goes back to, when we talked about, the scouting system and what have you. Yeah, you're going to have struggles with COVID and getting it right, of course. But I think because we don't have that in place anymore, I think we're missing out. Because remember, it was all about signing players with the right mentality as well. So it's not just ability. It's to having the right mindset to come in as a winner and say, even when things get tough, I'm still going to give 110%. I think even the personalities we're bringing into our squad now isn't right. I don't think there are Arsenal players with that mentality that, we roll our sleeves up and we get stuck in when things aren't quite going our way. So, I think we've missed something there as well.
Yeah, we need more Tierneys.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
You when you mention the ideal type of player, the mindset, the determination,
winner,
the pride in the club. You've got a natural born captain there.
He's a winner.
He's a winner, and he impresses me immensely.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. That's what you need. You need like 11 players with that mentality, and if not 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want to win things and have consistency, because that breeds it. If you've got that mentality, you go out there with that mentality that I want to win, and even when things aren't going right, we're gonna get stuck in and fight for this game. We're gonna try and get some stronghold in this game somehow. Whether we outbattle the team, outrun the team, there's gonna be some way that we're not gonna lose this game and give it up easily. And that's what he has. And no, I really respect him. He's become one of my favorite Arsenal players now. And I never.
Yeah, mine too. Absolutely. I mean, it's really nice though. Let's face it. What we were like how we were talking about Arsenal, a couple of months ago. Isn't it nice now to be able to go through team performances and to single out Tierney, Saka, Smith Rowe, players like that, who really are pleasing on the eye, who do interesting things and create chances, and it's just wonderful.
100%. And the biggest thing, they care. They really want to play for our club. They respect the badge, and and what it stands for, and they want to go out there and perform. And that's what we've missed with some of the players we brought in or players we've relied on for way too long. Is that and the energy and enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
And they've made the difference. And you're right. Going back a few months ago, how depressing was it being an Arsenal fan?
Yeah,
we didn't know where the next win was coming from.
Yeah, well, we're in the top half of the table now, Michael. So we've turned the corner, and we just got to keep up the tempo and the momentum. Establish some sort of momentum. That'll be good.
That'll be good.
We got Aubameyang rediscovering where the goal is, which is great.
Definitely. So it's looking up, and we've got a difficult run of games coming up. So let's get through that. But you're right. We've got a bit of momentum now, and confidence is back. There's a bit of confidence. You saw that with the goals, the way we took them. There's a bit of confidence there. So let's see how this season unfolds. And I'm sure with the more episodes we have, I'm sure we're going to have some interesting topics to talk about. There always is with Arsenal. There's one thing
But you
you
never know, Mike.
can't
You
say.
never know, Michael. If the next time we discuss Arsenal, the other side of the transfer window, maybe, we could be talking about Freddie Woodman.
About who? Freddie Wood?
Freddie Woodman, the goalie.
I like
We
it.
could be. We could be. We could be. That could be the only thing we've got to talk about as far as the
David,
transfer
you his
window.
agent. You've been plugging him a lot. I don't.
I've got no vested interest here, but let's hope you get a good audience for this conversation, and people will start Googling him. You never know, might do wonders for his career.
I think you will. I think you will. Once it goes on YouTube, I think you will. David, that's a perfect time to bring this to a close on a positive light about Arsenal. And thank you very much for your time. This was Head Talk on the Football's Fan Forum. Thank you very much, David, and I look forward to the next episode.
Always a pleasure, Michael.
Thanks, David. See you soon.